Hello and welcome back in this very special video. In this video we will be testing all kinds of carburetors available in automation game. This is like a versus video of a single barrel versus single barrel eco versus 2-barrel versus 4-barrel, and also versus the DCOA carburetor. Alright, so let's begin. I made this special engine because I want to eliminate all kinds of problems. For example, I don't want to make a tiny engine, because engines are like air pumps. They suck in so much air and they push out also so much air, and I want to push every kind of carburetor to its max. I want to push all kind of airflow to its max. So I made this 90 degrees 8-cylinder engine with cast iron block, 7 liter or 7000 cc engine, 104 mm on the bore, 103 mm on the stroke, dual overhead camshafts with 4 valves per cylinder. As you can see, cast iron. Actually I should use 5 valves. 5 valves are better airflow than 4 valves. Cast iron also on the cylinder heads, forged steel crankshaft with lightweight forged connecting rods and lightweight forged pistons. Zero quality here. I'm also using zero quality on everything. 10.0 to 1 is the compression ratio, 87, which is a very high or a racing camshaft, variable valve timing on all cams, naturally aspirated. As you can see, I'm using right now a single barrel, single carburetor race configuration because I don't want an air filter restricting air to the engine. I'm using ultimate 100 octane fuel so I can eliminate knocking. 13.5 is the fuel mixture. This will change when I choose the single barrel eco, because this single barrel eco runs on 14 and below, not on 13s. When you push it to 13.9, the engine will start to get rich and it will not work perfectly. So this 13.5 will work on all carburetors except the eco single barrel one, and we will try everything, the single, twin, triple, quad even. The ignition timing is all the way to the max. 7200 is the RPM limit. Racing tubular headers with dual exhaust pipes, 3.2 inch. I will not change the exhaust because I want to keep the airflow always free to its max on the exhaust side on all carburetors. No restrictions whatsoever on the exhaust pipes. And now let's start with the single barrel single carburetor on the top. As you can see, this is the configuration: single barrel single carburetor race, and it's pushing right now around 315 horsepower and 364 pound-feet of torque. Pretty much pathetic, as you can see, for a 7-liter engine. The reliability is 57, so we will compare also reliability and fuel economy. As you can see, the fuel economy is 14.9. What else? Noise, well, this is just irrelevant because everything is on the race side, so the engine is extremely noisy. And also octane, because I'm using 100 octane fuel, so this doesn't matter as well. Throttle response, this doesn't matter here. We will check this one also. Right, so as you can see, using this single barrel we are pushing 315 horsepower. Now let me fire up, and as you can see, the airflow restriction is extremely high. We are choking this engine to its max, and we are pushing this carburetor to its max, because as you can see here, this single carburetor max horsepower or max power is 114.5 horsepower, and we are making out of it 315 horsepower. So we are pretty much using this little baby here to its knees. We are pushing it all the way down. As you can see, the benefit of a single barrel carburetor on huge engines are extremely low in torque. As you can see, all the torque is at 1500 RPM, and the engine sounds extremely monstrous. As you can see, we are choking the hell out of this engine. Now let me put another single barrel carburetor on the top and see what will happen. Whoa, look at the power. The power has increased significantly from 300 horsepower to 500 horsepower. Now this is a significant amount of increase, and the torque has increased with 100 extra 100 pound-feet of torque just by adding a second one. As you can see, the engine of course got heavier because of another carburetor on the top. The throttle response has increased, of course, because of another carburetor. The fuel efficiency has increased also because, as you can see, adding another carburetor will benefit from better fuel economy. Some people will think that adding another carburetor will increase fuel consumption by the engine because you are pushing in more fuel, but no, you are actually, because adding another one will split the air-fuel ratio on both of them, and that will make the engine more efficient. As you can see, we are using lower octane than before. Of course, the engine will get much more expensive because of the cost of another carburetor, and of course the production units and the engineering time will increase because the engineers will have to design another one. Now let's fire it up again. As you can see, we are still choking the engine pretty much too high or too much. But the upside on adding another one is the low end torque. Oh, look, the idling torque is 360, more than the single carburetor before. As you can see, even at idle, which is great. Now, of course, adding a third one will benefit much more. But let's see how much we can use this single barrel fuel system or single barrel carburetor, design. And let's add a third one, and yes, we have an extra 100 horsepower. So we gained, as you can see, 100 horsepower with this one. Moving from a single to twin, we added 100 horsepower. From twin to triple, also 100 horsepower. So we are pretty much still choking the engine. But the benefit of adding a third one, a better fuel economy, lower octane consumption, better throttle response. Of course, the engine got heavier. The performance index has increased significantly, and noise is pretty much the same. The smoothness is pretty much the same. So yes, it's a win-win. Let's fire it up again. As you can see, we are still choking the engine by 0.80 points, which is extremely high. As you can see, a red warning light here. I mean, this is nothing. I mean, this will not affect the health of the engine. The engine reliability will still be the same, but as you can see, the flow bench, the engine is not making its true horsepower and torque. Now let's move on to eco, and this is where fuel mixture will change. As you can see, we are now with triple carburetor single barrel. We are pushing 622 horsepower. A new video from Carburetor. Okay, that's nice. Alright, now let's add the eco and see what kind of fuel economy we'll get with the perfect, or let's see what kind of max air fuel mixture we will get. Because I want to max out the single barrel eco. Now, as you can see, we are using quad. I'm not gonna start with single breaker because single is just irrelevant. Single will choke the engine too much, as you can see. But now, as you can see, we have the engine is running too rich, so we have to decrease fuel efficiency. Sorry, air fuel ratio. Let's decrease the ignition time and see what kind of air fuel ratio. All right. So 14.3, this is pretty much the max we will get out of this carburetor. As you can see, yes, this is also the max ignition timing we will get. As you can see, the fuel economy with a single one has dropped significantly, but this single carburetor, I think it's better than the single carburetor, single barrel that we used before. As you can see, I know that the horsepower used to be 300 with a single carburetor, single barrel. It used to be 300, now it's 179, so this carburetor is pretty much choking this engine so much. I would like to point out, I like the shape of the Eco single barrel carburetor. It looks very unique, but it's choking the engine so much. Can you imagine 179 horsepower from a 7-liter engine? Look, 0.26, we are pretty much choking it to death. I'm surprised this carburetor hasn't been sucked in by the cylinders down the block because of the chokiness that is happening here. Let me put another one and see what will happen. Alright, so you added another one and look at the fuel efficiency, 18.5. This is too much. Wow. And we are using 98.5 octane. This is also great. The reliability has changed, of course, because adding another carburetor will mean it will mean more service cost, and the engine will get less reliable, of course, because you have throttle linkages and higher maintenance, as you can see. But now it looks much more complicated and much more cool, actually. As I mentioned, I like the shape of the single barrel Eco. Let's see, we are still pretty much choking the engine so much. Let's fire it up. As you can see, with twin carburetors from the Eco, we are pretty much doing what a single carburetor did in the single barrel before. As you can see, using two ones from the Eco will equal a single one from the normal, not Eco one. Wow, that is so much scientific. Okay, now let's move on and add a quad setup, not triple, quad. Yes, now with quad, no, we cannot push more fuel in, but we have to decrease it a little bit. As you can see, 14.4, but now we can increase the ignition timing all the way to the max. And as you can see, we are pushing 543 horsepower and 421 pound-feet of torque. So this is how much this Eco single barrel carburetor will be maxed out. As you can see, we are choking the engine by 0.72. So with quad carburetors, we are still pretty much choking this 7-liter engine, because these quad carburetors are capable only with 265 horsepower, but we are pushing out of them 542 horsepower, as you can see. As you can see, these are pretty much used all the way to the max, these Eco single barrels. Now, as you can see, these has been designed, of course, to run and choke the hell out of the engine, so it can make the highest fuel efficiency. Of course, with its unique design, this is how they designed to choke the engine and to produce a significant efficient amount of fuel and make the engine run, but without making too much power. But it's very good of making fuel efficiency, high fuel efficiency. As you can see, with a carbureted single barrel Eco, this is actually very close to a modern EFI. We call it the multi-point fuel injection, not direct injection. This is very close, 19.7. I mean, you will get 21, 22 maybe with the normal multi-point fuel injection on this 7-liter, a huge monster of a V8. This Eco single barrel got very close to it. I'm really impressed. Of course, now the Eco time has done or has finished. Now let's move on and burn more fuel in and make power. Let's move on from a single barrel to a 2-barrel, but first let me go to a single 2-barrel. As you can see, the engine is knocking, of course, because the 2-barrel need more fuel to run. 14.4 won't just cut the cake. As you can see, let's increase the fuel till we hit the sweet spot, which is here, 13.2. As you can see, the fuel efficiency has dropped significantly, and with a single 2-barrel carburetor on the top, we are making pretty much good power, 383, better than a single barrel carburetor. This is a single 2-barrel on the top, which is of course better because you have 2 extra barrels, or a single extra barrel. Okay, let's fire up this puppy here. As you can see, we are still choking the engine. Let's add another carburetor. 583 horsepower. Okay, now that's impressive. Let's see. No, this is better. This is the sweet spot. I'm not gonna change it. As you can see, the fuel efficiency has increased, but we are okay. No, let's see. Single, twin. Okay, so now we are better off with a better octane rating. The engine is much more responsive. Of course, it's less reliable because of an extra carburetor. You already know that. Now let me see how it looks. It looks magnificent actually, and we are making 583 horsepower. As you can see, we are still choking the engine. Let's move on and put a third one on the top. 672 horsepower, not bad. And now we are in the yellow warning light section. Now we have moved on from the red, which is a +1. We are only 0.87 of a points on choking or air restrictions. As you can see, we have better fuel mileage or fuel economy, less octane rating, and the engine is much more responsive, and yes, less reliable, more heavy, and more terrifying to make. But it looks absolutely amazing. Look at these triple 2 barrels, amazing. This is power, my friend. 672 horsepower. I mean, this engine is capable of 750 on EFI, but with carburetors you have to excuse the classic technology. Let's move on to, I'm not gonna move on to DCOE, I'm gonna move on to 4-barrel first and then DCOE, so we can compare the normal barrel system, and then we'll go to the DCOE carburetor. Alright, let me move on to single again and 4-barrel. So a single 4-barrel carburetor, as you can see, is capable of 289 horsepower, and it's making 578 horsepower, so pretty much choking the engine again. But for a single one, this is very, very impressive. I mean, I know that in real life they are much better carburetors from Holley or from Edelbrock that they are tending to make up to 1,000 horsepower in real life. I know that, but here I'm using a zero quality. Zero quality means normal quality, not bad, not excellent, but it's good. It's zero. It's normal for everyone to buy. I mean, if I can just push it all the way to the max, it will be a much better carburetor than a 0-1, but it will still not make 1,000 horsepower. Alright, so as you can see, the difference between a single 2-barrel carburetor and a single 4-barrel carburetor is just, wow, look at the difference. Throttle response much better, smoothness. Even it's smoother on a single 4-barrel carburetor than a single 2-barrel carburetor. Okay, now that's a significant increase. And look at the fuel efficiency, a 1.1% of an increase. That's impressive. And less emissions. Wow, 4 barrels are much more greater for the environment than a 2-barrel. Okay, let me add another one. As you can see now, that is power, my friend. 708 horsepower from adding a second 4-barrel carburetor. As you can see, it supports 578, but we are making 708. And we are still pretty much choking the engine, but with a tiny bit, only 0.6% left. The result is absolutely amazing. For a 4-barrel carburetor, we are pushing out 708 horsepower. Now this is perfect. But let me show you what a DCOA can make. First, if you want to read what kind of a 4-barrel, we can read it here. You can pause the video if you want. Alright, now let's move on and push the DCOA on the top. Let me choose a single one and then choose a DCOA. As you can see, we are making much more progress. With twin carburetors, we are pushing out 730 horsepower. Wow, nowadays this is great. As you can see, the fuel economy has dropped. The engine is reliable, which is good. It's lightweight and it's pretty much good. I mean, using two DCOA carburetors will make your engine look amazing and will make it perform amazingly too. And we are just a little bit choking the engine. I mean, it's just like a tiny hair, and it sounds brutal too. So brutal. Okay, now let me choose the quad setup. Now this is the perfect setup for a really open, high flow, extremely high flow carburetors, and it looks absolutely amazing. Look at these carburetors stacked behind each other with these runners down here, so racing like, wow. 747 horsepower, and we are not choking the engine at all. As you can see, the intake is allowing all the air that the cylinders are demanding to go in, and all cylinders and the exhaust also is allowing all the air to go out smoothly. I mean, yes, the fuel economy is not really great. This is by far, I think, the worst one. I'm not really sure, I forgot, I apologize, but this is not great. I mean, 15.1%, no. And the fuel octane is low. Actually, we can use 95 octane, no problem. The engine is less smooth, I know that, because these are like extremely racing carburetors, and the engine reliability has dropped a little bit, and these are heavy, nearly 300 kilograms. But look at the power, 747. Come on, no one can argue with that. Let me see if, oh, we can push more fuel in. Alright, we can push it all the way to 12.8. I know the fuel economy will just drop, no one cares. The exhaust, no, it's perfect like this. The camshaft, no, I'm not gonna push more power because I'm gonna lose torque. I don't want to lose torque. I mean, if you want to make it perfectly, use ultimate and push more compression ratio in. 11.8.1. we are going nearly 800 horsepower. No, actually the max we can reach is this 786 horsepower, 600 pound-feet of torque. No, this is perfect like this. Everything is maxed out. I don't want to push more quality in, no. Perfect. An extra point of the compression, 11.9 to 1. Now this is perfect. Nearly 800 horsepower out of this beast here. This has been a great experience for me to make all the available carburetors on a single engine and compare power, throttle response, fuel economy, reliability, and of course power and torque. I'm really happy with the end result, and I really did enjoy making it. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, get subscribed if you are new to my channel, share the video if you want to share it, and request more cool engines or cars or whatever you want to request. Just check the game first and see if the game can support it, and I will be really happy to make any engine request or car you want to make. Thank you so much guys for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed the video. I would like to hear from you. What do you think about the video? What do you think about the result in the comment below? Thank you so much guys for watching. I will see you very soon with another cool request or a cool video. Thank you and goodbye my friends.